Hi everyone and welcome back to Amplify. In today's episode we're gonna talk to a brilliant musician from Alabama. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's have a look at the previously on Amplify.
So his name is Omar Barazanji. I met him because he goes to Auburn. We were in the same class, and he does a band called False Jasmine. They're starting to practice up again now.
There's no surprise to me why Peyton decided to amplify Omar Barazanji, because that guy plays so many instruments really. So just have a look for yourself. So without further ado, multi-instrumentalist Omar Barazanji.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm good, yeah, all good. It's kind of late here already in Belgium. I mean, it's not late, it's something like 6 p.m. And where are you from connected right now?
I'm currently in Alabama, so it's 11 a.m. right now. Just waking up because I'm a night owl, drinking my coffee, visiting my parents. I'm in my hometown.
And what's your hometown?
In Enterprise, Alabama. It's like really close to the border of Florida.
Mm-hmm. So the reason I'm calling you is because a couple of weeks back I had an interview with Peyton from Future Trees Music, and when I asked him who he wants to amplify, who should I contact and get to know, he nominated you actually. So I would love to know about you, like everything we can fit in half an hour or 40 minutes. Let's start first of all, like where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I've actually been in Alabama my whole life. Although I did get my culture. My parents are both immigrants actually. My dad came from Syria. My mom came from Brazil. They came here for college. So following in their footsteps, I'm going to college, and that's where I met Peyton actually. We met in university, and I told him I had a band, and I was like, "Come jam with my band." And we started jamming and played some shows, and right around the pandemic.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, how do you two know each other, and what's your relationship?
Yeah, so like I said, I met him at university. We were both studying engineering. He's an electrical student, and I'm a computer student, and same department. And he saw me mixing a song actually in the study room. And he approached me and he was like, "Oh, well, that's the same DAW that I use." So I guess if it wasn't for PreSonus, we wouldn't be friends.
Yeah, thank you, Presonus.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I instantly after that day, I think I went over to his house, checked out his home studio, and then we made a song, and it was in an odd time signature. I think like 15/8, because the song that he caught me mixing was in 16. What was it? It was 19/16. So that's 19/16 notes a measure. So it's kind of funny that that's what he walked in on.
Yeah. And right now, well, Peyton told me that you have your band that is called False Jasmine.
Yes.
Let's talk about it a bit.
Yeah. So that band started by me and my best friend Sam. He's the drummer. We both grew up here in Enterprise, my hometown, together. And then he went to Birmingham, and I went to Auburn University. But then one day he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, dude, let's start a band. You're the only other person that wants to write some experimental shit like this." And so I invited him over to my home studio in Auburn, and we right then and there we wrote our first song, and then the next weekend our second song, next weekend our third song, and then we were like, "Well, damn, dude, we have like this album and we don't have a band. What are we gonna do?" So we started playing as a two-piece. We didn't care. We were like, we're just gonna play, and we started playing Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, just as a two-piece. Then one day this bassist hit us up, because he saw us. All right, now we got a bassist. We're a three-piece. All right, we start playing. Oh shit! This conga player, this hand percussionist saw us. Now we're a four-piece. Keep playing. Okay, now we're a five-piece. And then Peyton, and then I think at the peak before the pandemic hit, we were at a total of like 7 people like in the band. Like I think yeah, but the style of music is experimental, progressive rock. I guess more classical progressive rock, I guess.
Because on Spotify, I found 3 songs of yours. One of them was Gravity.
Mhm.
How that song was born?
Yeah, Gravity's a cool one. I actually that one's a unicorn on the whole album, or the release tree that we're releasing. That one I wrote completely on my acoustic guitar, and I actually wrote the vocals, which I usually don't do. Um, although me and Ty Kennedy, the other front man of the band, he's the main vocalist. So I got him to just sing what I wrote.
And because of course now because of the pandemic, like everything stopped, and of course touring stopped, concerts stopped. How did you survive this whole thing?
Well, we thought we weren't gonna survive, especially like if you're talking about the band. We had a couple members that had to move away, um, due to the pandemic. Like they just didn't have money. They had to leave. They had to go somewhere. Um, Fortunately, the core members of the band, like we still have solid 5 members, still in the city working. It definitely slowed us down. We had a lot of shows booked, a lot of things planned around the shows. So right now we're just recording and practicing only new material. So there's pros and cons.
Are you planning something in 2021, or in general? What are your plans for 2021?
I do plan to release the album. So this album has been like a long time coming. I think it's been 3.5 years now since I've started working on it. Maybe even 4 years. I don't even know anymore. But it's 8 songs.
8 songs, okay.
On 5 songs, featuring my favorite saxophone player, Adrian Terrazas Gonzalez from the Mars Volta and Tram. He's a badass, and he plays sax, and he plays the EY, or EY, I don't know how you say it, but it's an electronic flute synthesizer thing. Really cool sound. But so it's exciting, it's a huge release. It's been a long time coming working on it. Self-producing it. Holy shit.
And what's going to be the title?
Yeah, it's called Delusions of Grandeur. It's based on a psychological or phenomenon or psychosis of like a false perception of importance.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes.
And why? I mean, what inspired? Of course, we understand what inspired, but how did you arrive to this?
Yeah, so we had this album, right? And we noticed that one key component to the album was this I don't know, it sounds kind of like apocalyptic, like metaphysical almost. I don't know, it sounds existential, even though like it's instrumental, but I don't know, it's very psychedelic, some songs. So we wanted to make it appeal to psychology, psychosis, maybe make it analogous to the brain. So we made the album a concept album, of course, and it's about this planet called Grandeur, and it's delusional, it's sentient, and it's delusional. And every time civilization starts reaching its peak, this planet will wipe everything out. It's like, no, y'all don't think you can't do this. I'm gonna wipe all y'all out and restart. We're gonna restart. And then so the planet starts over from the beginning again, and then the first 2 humans come out, wherever, and they start over.
Are there politics involved in the inspiration?
What?
Are there politics involved in the inspiration?
I don't think so. Maybe there's a little bit of bashing uh, like the modern human era right now. Maybe it's a little like a little poke on it, like, hey, we're destroying the world, right? So maybe a little bit there, but for real though, it's just we just came up with it. We were really, we were really baked drinking. We're like, dude, what if this album was about a planet that just wipes out everyone? So it's
I mean, with that kind of imagination, you not only can write, an album, you can go for a novel or something. Do you write like stories?
I don't actually, surprisingly, but I've always written music. Ever since as long as I can remember. Like a fun fact about me is I don't really know many other people's songs. But I've been playing guitar and drums and all this for many years now. Since I was like 10, 11.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been playing something, but I've always been writing my own stuff. So I guess I could have channeled that to pen and paper, but I guess the instruments found me first.
Yeah. And how many instruments do you play exactly? Like
So
what?
I like to say I play all the rock instruments. So I play, guitar, bass, drums, piano, and I can do vocals. But like I said, I don't write, so
Mhm,
lyrics and stuff. So,
mhm.
but I use my
Uh,
voice a lot in the studio.
Yeah. And who is now leading vocally the band?
Yeah, so right now I think we're just a five-piece instrumental. But
Okay.
on the album we have two front presences, I guess, two frontmen. Ty Kennedy and Adam Davila. He's in Colorado, Adam, and Ty is actually right here in my hometown.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, both of them left. They had to move away from the area, but yeah, they sing.
Mhm.
Ty Kennedy is the one that you hear on Spotify right now.
Okay.
All three of those songs, that's Ty.
Mhm.
Adam, he's gonna be on the album. You're gonna hear his voice. He has a much more like classic rock sounding voice, like really huge pipes.
Mhm. And where do you guys take the inspiration from in general?
Yeah, so me and a lot of the members, we like progressive rock music. So me and the drummer, we love like King Crimson and Frank Zappa and this band called Gong and um, just all sorts of 70s progressive rock icons. And the reason why we poke on the 70s era is because there was this movement in rock and roll where it was kind of like anti-rock. They were like, hold up, fuck all this commercial sellout bullshit. Let's go back to our roots. Let's bring out the jazz instruments. Let's bring a guy that plays flute. Who cares? You play violin? Here, come join. It's like, it doesn't matter. What do you play? Marimba? Okay. I'm gonna play rock and roll still, but like, you guys, let's meld our instruments together and create something different. And yeah, that's when like world music was like being born, I guess you could say. So it was like you just play in this group, and you don't try and play in any genre. You just play with what you hear based on bouncing off the other person. Um, it's kind of like a form of communication. You play something, you listen to the other person, they play something, you see them go in a different direction. Okay, you try and go in a different direction too. And through doing this like flow state and jamming, you can really write some bizarre sounding things, because I like to see it as merging your brain with however many people you're playing with. You're merging your brain with them, like making one consciousness, and then you have more power when you do that. You can write crazier things. It goes in different directions, unpredictable.
Yeah.
Omar, and what about because you said that you play a lot of instruments. It was like you had to go to school for all of that, or you could learn at home from somebody?
Yeah, so my musical background is interesting because at first, I was a kid, so I went to a guitar teacher, but that didn't last very long, and I didn't learn too much from that. I think I put the guitar down for like a year or two, and then picked it back up. And when I picked it back up, I was actually just joining like a junior high school band or something, and they had a really good percussion program. That led into high school. I did drumline, and I really picked up on that. And I was the section leader for 2 years. And at those 2 years, I think, are when things just kind of clicked. I had this drum coach, and he pushed us like so hard to learn all this crazy, rudiments and just trying to push the level of where everyone was at to make everyone go from here to like way up here. And I digested all of the intellect he was giving on drumming. I was like, just like, tell me everything. And so I think learning all of those percussion rudiments and rhythm theory really translated into every instrument. So I found that I never played the drum set before, but after that I hopped on a drum set. I think within like a week, I could call myself like a pretty coherent drummer. And then I was like, okay, well, piano, like let's hop on the piano now. I learned the marimba, which is percussion. I know all the scales on a marimba. It's the same thing as a piano. So I did that for a couple days, kept it by my side and just jammed on that every now and then. Next thing you know, I'm like, hey, I understand the piano now. I can jam on this. And then the bass guitar was always kind of there with the guitar. I play with my finger, no pick. That took a little bit to get, but yeah. So now my favorite thing to do is just start the day, make some coffee. If I don't have anything to do, just play a drum beat, drop a bass lick, play guitar, put some piano over it, and then so I use all of them like every day pretty much. Very.
That Yeah, I was just about to ask because earlier you say that you're kind of night owl. So I was thinking like, okay, what time do you wake up? Like, when does the day start for you?
So yeah, when I'm like left alone to my own devices and I don't have to be somewhere at like 8 a.m., which has been the whole pandemic. I sleep at around like 3 a.m. and I wake up around like noon, so to speak, I guess. Anywhere around that interval, 4 a.m. to noon, 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sometimes if I'm really tired, I'll sleep at like 1 a.m., but it's always like after 12.
Does it mean that nighttime is just more productive for you, so you can really do lots of stuff till 3 a.m.?
Yeah, usually the reason why I stay up is because it's kind of funny. You would think that I'd be productive and all that at night, but I do a lot of things when I wake up, like right around now. And I don't stop until like everyone's like going to bed. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't like wind down yet. So I guess from like 12 to 3 is me like winding down and taking it easy. Because the whole day I was like, going really like I don't play video games. I don't really do any of that. I'm always just working on some kind of hobby or work or school, and that's fine. But yeah, so I usually stay up late because I'm like, I need to relax.
And what helps you to relax or to wind down?
Yeah, I've been usually I like reading or I watch a nice TV series. I like anime. I've been watching a couple series. You know,
Yeah,
just
podcasts or no?
small pieces of media.
What about podcasts?
Oh yeah, I like a little bit of podcasting. Joe Rogan has obviously been like the mediator for that, for me at least, because I used to not be into podcasting, and then
Mm-hmm.
and started sharing me all this stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, who's this person? Oh, who's that person? Wait, they podcast too? And then it's just
Yeah, a lot of people podcast.
like,
Hi, hi, a lot of people podcast.
so many people podcasting. Like
Yeah,
it's really crazy. Like I'm learning so much.
yeah. You know what? We spoke a bit earlier about skills and the fact that you're playing your how do you call it?
Multi-instrumental.
Multi-instrumentalist? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you would like to learn?
Yeah. So like I guess I like to look at all the rock instruments as percussion for some reason. Even piano, I look at it as a percussive instrument. I've never learned anything that's not in that family, like a wind instrument. Um, uh, like wind, maybe um, a bowed instrument like violin.
Mhm.
Those kinds of instruments that have like more of a voice to them, like saxophone and violin, they have more of a natural sound. I've never really learned an instrument like that. I'd like to learn one.
So, we spoke about you meeting Peyton when you were mixing in PreSonus.
Yes.
Um, do you still work with PreSonus or you use something
Yeah,
else right now?
it's definitely still my go-to Studio
Mm-hmm.
One.
Studio One.
Mhm.
And was it difficult to learn how to navigate the tool?
I found it very intuitive. A big reason why I stopped switching over to all these DAWs is because I was looking for a DAW that could kind of be home base. So, for example, you can make stuff in FL Studio, you can make stuff in Ableton, Reason, and then you could just send it over into Studio One and then mix it, master it. It has a very nice generic set of tools to mix and master just about anything. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and I multi-mic a lot of things. I don't really use too much MIDI. I'm more of a performance-based recorder, so lots of I'm a mic heavy person.
Okay.
So I rely more on compression, EQ, and performance of the instrument of the person playing. Um, and I find that Studio One, yeah, it's good home base. It's like Pro Tools. Mhm.
Is there someone who inspires you or maybe something?
Oh, yeah, I mean, just like honestly, when I was growing up, I like to say that the people around me that I was seeing playing shows and really writing stuff, those people inspired me. Like, and I mean, obviously now I'm jamming with them and they're my friends. I listen to a lot of music, lots of music, underground, like obscure kind of people trying to start a movement, kind of music. And I get inspired by those people. I mean, it's a lot of people.
Uh,
It's
it's n- it's nice because people can get inspired from other people or from events or from
yes,
they can
yes.
get inspiration from the sunset. So it's always cool to know more like where does the inspiration come from different people.
Yeah.
And if you could recommend something to our listeners or viewers, by something I mean mm, resource for making music, for understanding how to mix or understanding how to make music, how to play live instruments and record them.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I got like two or three things I could recommend. The first thing is if you want to make an album, read a book. Read a book on how to mix. Doesn't even matter where you get the book from. Just type in how to mix PDF free download. Just find anything that has intellectual you know
Value.
background on how to properly mix commercial sounding anything. It'll help you significantly. Um, the second thing is playing live. Don't stop doing that. uh, Play with as many people as you can without the assistance of a machine. Like find a way to just like organically lock into a metronome with other people and then go back and make music in your studio, and you'll find that your creativity will be a little better. So keep doing that. Mhm.
But that's nice to hear, really, especially the part of play live. I mean,
Yes.
I think I miss live performances so much. I
Me
mean, I
too.
just want to go out and watch somebody perform,
One of my
whatever. Last time
performance
it was,
walls.
yeah. Last time it was like a jazz concert in the city center of Brussels. There was a place we could book and be there like very attentively without like being close to other tables, but at least I think it was in July or something, and it was already something good.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So if we talk about amplifying somebody else, who would that be?
Definitely Papa Red. He goes by Papa Red.
Papa Red.
Yeah.
And who is that person?
So he's actually like, if you look at Peyton in Future Trees, like the guest appearances, most likely guests you'll see are either me or Papa Red.
Okay.
Because he lives down the street. So he's like he's if you amplify him, then you have amplified the whole the Triforce.
Ah, that's nice. Really, that's cool.
Yeah.
And okay, where can we find you, Omar?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, and mostly it's like my main social media, Omar Zanji. And then of course my band. I'm on every streaming platform, False Jasmine. We also have falsejasmine.com. So yes.
Okay, and do you have your songs on the website, or we have to go on Spotify?
Yeah, so you could actually listen to all of our stuff on Bandcamp or our website. Our website does allow you to listen to the songs and purchase them, downloading them. Bandcamp, we have this really cool album that it's improv, completely improv. It's an hour long, and we did it at a live venue, and we just put
Oh.
a stereo XY condenser in the center of the room, and that's an album.
Was it recently or?
This was like a year ago, maybe. It was like right before the pandemic, maybe 2 years actually. I delete the pandemic year. It
Yeah, it's like it never happened.
never happened. Yeah, that was a year ago, not 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's a year. It's been a year now. Okay, thanks a lot, Omar, and thanks for finding the time to talk to me. I'm very happy that I got to know you, and see you on Instagram.
Yeah. Peace out.
Thanks guys for streaming this episode. Don't forget to support Omar Barazanji. Go on YouTube, go on Spotify, find his music. I got all the links in the description. Give some love on his Instagram page, and see you on the next episode of Amplify.